As artificial intelligence continues to reshape the global economy, one question is dominating the minds of investors heading into 2026: is Nvidia still the undisputed king of AI stocks, or has a serious challenger finally emerged to threaten its throne? For the past several years, Nvidia has been nothing short of a phenomenon. Its H100 and now Blackwell GPU chips have become the backbone of virtually every major AI infrastructure build-out on the planet. From Microsoft to Google, from Amazon to Meta, the hyperscalers have been throwing billions at Nvidia hardware, creating what analysts have called a supercycle unlike anything seen in semiconductor history. Nvidia's revenue growth has been staggering, its profit margins have been the envy of Wall Street, and its market capitalization has at various points touched the $3 trillion mark, making it one of the most valuable companies in human history. But here is where the story gets genuinely interesting. The very success that Nvidia has enjoyed is now planting seeds of disruption. The hyperscalers are no longer content to be permanent customers, they are building their own custom AI chips. Google has its TPUs, Amazon has Trainium and Inferentia, and Microsoft is quietly developing its own silicon. This is not a distant threat. It is happening right now, and it raises a legitimate question about the long-term ceiling on Nvidia's growth. So who is the challenger the Motley Fool has in its sights? While the specific name demands your attention, what matters here is the broader thesis that as AI moves from the training phase into widespread inference and deployment, the hardware landscape is shifting. Training massive foundation models requires the brute computational power that Nvidia dominates. But inference, actually running those models at scale across billions of user interactions, is a different problem, one that potentially favors more specialized, energy-efficient architectures. Companies that design chips optimized specifically for inference workloads, or those positioned within the software stack that sits on top of any hardware, could represent compelling value propositions precisely because Nvidia's valuation already prices in extraordinary expectations. When a stock trades at the multiples Nvidia has commanded, even strong growth can disappoint a market built on perfection. And that is perhaps the most sobering reality for Nvidia investors to sit with. The company is not failing, far from it. Its CUDA software ecosystem remains a formidable moat, deeply embedded in every AI research lab and enterprise AI team on the planet. Switching costs are real. Developer loyalty is real. But moats, as history reminds us, are not permanent. IBM once had a moat. Intel once had a moat. The semiconductor industry has a long and humbling history of leaders who eventually ceded ground to leaner, more focused competitors who found the cracks. The smartest investors heading into 2026 are not asking whether to own AI exposure, they absolutely should. The question is whether concentrating that exposure in Nvidia alone represents the highest conviction, best risk-adjusted strategy available. Diversifying across the AI value chain, think networking infrastructure, data center cooling, energy solutions, software platforms, and yes, competing chip designers may deliver returns that a single stock bet simply cannot replicate with the same level of downside protection. Nvidia's story is not over. By most reasonable measures, it remains an extraordinary business executing at the highest level. But extraordinary businesses and extraordinary stock returns are two separate things, and that distinction matters enormously when you are deploying capital in 2026. The real question is not whether Nvidia is still great, it almost certainly is. The question is whether greatness has already been fully priced in, and whether the next chapter of AI wealth creation belongs to the company bold enough to challenge it.